Welcome to my barn. We took our company public here. Our best decisions in the history of Palantir were made in this barn.
Today I've got another Palantir update to share. I'll cover IBM's earnings briefly and their mentions of Palantir from their conference call yesterday. Talk about an extended partnership with a company called Ringier and something extra at the end of the video. Let's go. But first, I should mention how Palantir put out a video featuring Karp talking about how PLTR will free up industry's data for free. Now, this is absolutely not new. I've talked about how Palantir actually did this kind of thing last year during the pandemic and offered its introductory services for free as a way to entice businesses into the ecosystem and also help out in a time of need. Apparently, few were aware of this, but it is inherently part of their sales model and not something they are just taking out of the blue. Regardless, I'm glad Karp is reiterating it and continuing to offer Palantir's platforms in such a way. I think the approach is unique and, in my opinion, perhaps necessary for Palantir's type of work. So as I said, IBM had its earnings report yesterday and beat across the board, posting revenue growth for the first time after 4 quarters of declines. Here's a clip from the earnings call of IBM talking about its partnership with Palantir.
We now have 3,000 clients using our hybrid cloud platform. We are also focused on helping companies use our rich AI capabilities to drive business outcomes. In the past quarter, we have forged important partnerships with companies like Palantir to simplify how businesses build and deploy AI applications across public clouds, private clouds, and on-premise. As part of this collaboration, IBM and Palantir are creating a new offering called Palantir for IBM Cloud Pak for Data, allowing clients to scale AI with confidence.
Palantir Daily on Twitter put out some great info yesterday. Let me read a few of his tweets. It's important to understand that IBM didn't launch its joint venture with Palantir until March, so this is still very early days. And IBM said on the call that they have 3,000 clients using their cloud hybrid platform, so that means approximately 2,700 potential clients of PLTR software to help scale through their enterprises. And IBM said, quote, "We've had around 200 of our top clients experience new use cases for our solutions. So not too much new to glean from the partnership, but its future is absolutely something to look forward to as its significance takes center stage between the two companies." And moving on to the news of the extended partnership, Palantir and Ringier today announced they have renewed their strategic partnership to provide Ringier with software to further its digital transformation and accelerate its shift to a digital-first global media company, which actually has a history stretching back nearly 2 centuries. This is surely an interesting matchup and highlights the powerful versatility of Foundry, and we now know that Foundry is used in the newsroom. Instead of reading through the entire press release, I'm going to play the official video Palantir put together for its partner. Here it is.
Ringier is a family-owned media company with a big tradition. 180 years old, based in Switzerland. We're doing about 130 media brands in 20 countries. Our commitment is to provide premium journalism to the citizen. We have shifted, of course, like all other media companies, from an offline newspapers and magazines into digital media. The challenge we have for any digital media company on this planet is always the same. How do we provide our users with the right content? Where is the perfect match? How can we offer better content to our users? And there, of course, data comes into play.
When I started as editor-in-chief for Blick.ch 4 years ago, we had in our newsroom over 270 data reports. So there were really a lot of data, but nobody really looked at it. So we knew that something had to change. So together with Palantir, we were able to develop a newsroom tool where all data comes together. Our objectives were that it should be easy to use, accessible for all journalists, and that all data from all sources is accessible in one place. What happened was that all journalists really embraced data. And we see that 85% of all journalists look at Foundry every day.
At any given time, I can log on to the platform and monitor how my articles are performing. I can set targets for myself and my team and keep track on them.
Our KPIs that we set are like unique users per day, page views, sessions, and also time spent.
I can weigh this against other Blick media objectives and make decisions around the content.
Because we see all data in one place, we are able to better serve and to inform our readers. We have reached more readers, and because of the increase in reach, we also were able to increase our revenue, which is very important for funding of the quality journalism that Blick.ch offers every day.
Foundry has helped us to increase our traffic fundamentally. It has helped us to improve our relationship to our readers. And with that, it's not only a technical progress that we could do with them, but it's also a business success.
I'm extremely happy to see our work going forward with Palantir because it helps journalists, but more important than that, it helps the users to get better content.
So what mattered from that video? Palantir is extending to provide new story management in the newsroom, and the partnership allows for data analytics to provide higher quality news and content to the company's audience. And this is all with Foundry, of course. And because of the platform, they're able to keep track of their stories and how well they're doing. And we have confirmation that, given the extension of the partnership, Palantir's platforms have helped Ringier generate alpha, the ultimate goal. And this extension of the partnership stretches past their initial pilot, which ties back to the idea of Palantir offering initial pilots for free, which I've talked about previously discussing Palantir's master plan. And I've got one more thing to share with you today, then I'll be back for some closing thoughts. I want to share something speculative that you won't be finding elsewhere. Eagerly awaiting the double-click event on Wednesday, I noticed Vimeo's version of the like button. I clicked it and it opened to show me all of those who had previously liked the pre-recorded presentation. However, at that point, the video was still private, making me think that those who liked it were given early access. You can choose whether or not to believe that the people I am about to show you are working with Palantir, or you can dismiss it as pure speculation. But in that case, you'll have to admit that it's nevertheless a good sign to see the interest from big names. So, seeing the names, I looked up each early comer on LinkedIn. Let's see who they were. Starting off with a senior business manager for marketing and sales, labeled as a key account manager from an American global computer security software company headquartered in Santa Clara, California. The company was purchased by Intel for its security division, then got spun off, and then returned to the NASDAQ, where it currently stands with a market cap of $10.5 billion. Next, we have a senior software engineer working for DLVR with applications using AWS infrastructure and API client scripts like Python. That definitely sounds a little familiar. Then we have a business development professional, which is from a company that is a self-proclaimed premier service provider of precision machining services to various industries. This person has also shared Palantir posts before, so there is clearly some sort of connection. Next, we have the biggest one that I saw, the vice president of a French international banking group, which comes in at the world's 8th largest bank by total assets and currently operates with a presence in 72 countries. And for the penultimate, we have a computer hardware consultant and storage specialist working as an IT lead system engineer for a Danish company that manufactures products and provides services used for cooling food, air conditioning, heating buildings, etc. And finally, we have a senior talent acquisition partner at IBM, so no surprise that IBM is listening in and watching and keeping a close eye on Palantir. There's clearly so much interest when it comes to Palantir's Foundry platform. I know that some who doubt the company will point out that PLTR will have trouble maintaining and increasing its frequency and size of contracts, but there is no indication of that from either my anecdotal research here or Palantir's steadily increasing revenues. Once again, here's Sankar touching on how well received Demo Day was. I expect this double-click series to be no different, or perhaps even better, as PLTR is breaking down into its 40 different industries.
That event brought exceptional interest in our platform from around the globe. but in particular, incredible demand in the US where we just almost can't keep up.
So there you have it, some news pouring in for Palantir, its partner IBM having a very strong quarter, an extension of an existing partnership with company Ringier, and more contracts to come. As for the stock, it's at a critical point, I'd say. I'm not going to comment too much on it because I'm not very good with technical analysis, but we will have to see if Palantir is able to find some support around this mid $21 level. Leave any comments you have for the stock below. Personally, I've never been more bullish on the company, and I've heard a lot of people saying they think the stock will just trade sideways or even move lower over the next few months and aren't even expecting any upward movement. While that's possible, I think the stock is likely to regain some momentum when you're least expecting it. So, at least as I see it, we could be towards the end of this bear market for Palantir. But again, I have no idea. And don't take advice from me, as I'm looking to hold for many years into the future. I hope this roundup was helpful. Until next time.